Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Lau with Kenshan Crafts, and it's that time of the year again. The end of the year means I want to share my whole fountain pen collection with you guys. It's been about 3 years now since I've been collecting fountain pens and being in this fountain pen community. It's going to be a long video, a little bit chatty from time to time, so prepare yourself, get something to snack on, something to drink. Without further ado, let's switch the camera over and see all the beautiful pens. All right, well, let us begin with the top layer of my wooden pen case here. This is one of my very first wooden pen case. It holds 36 total, so 12 pen on each layer. There's 2 trays underneath and the top layer. And I have put some of my very earliest pens over here. A lot of my earlier pens I have sold, so this is all that is left. So we're going to start with the Lamy pens, and I first started with Lamy. You know, Lamys are pretty great for entering the fountain pen community because it is very classic looking. It's a snap cap, so it's easy to transition from like ballpoint pens or jelly rolls into fountain pens. So that's kind of how I felt my transition to fountain pens was with this Lamy. So this is my first fountain pen ever, the Lamy Tourmaline, and it is kind of, I would say, mostly blue with a little hint of green in it. It originally had a medium nib because I started off with mediums. It's always a great size to start with, just to be in the middle ground so you know if you like it or not, and you can kind of determine if you like something thinner or broader. But for now, it has a Lamy, I believe this is the cursive nib, which is really nice. So I still keep this. I'm not typically someone who keeps their very first pen just for the sake of memory, but a part of me is okay if I sold this as well. The next one is the Lamy All-Star as well. This is the rose gold, and the trims here are rose gold, which is nice because most Lamy All-Stars are silver trimming. So this one is actually the Luxe. Yeah, so this is the Lamy Luxe Rose Gold, and it has the Lamy's black coated nibs, which I feel like are much smoother than the silver ones. And I do enjoy writing with this nib a lot more than the silver nib that originally comes with these Lamys, but all these black coated Lamy nibs seem to be smoother and just more enjoyable to write with. So these are the 2 nibs I have left on my Lamys. I have sold my Lamy 2000. It just, I am enjoying black pens more often than I have in the past, but I think the Lamy 2000 just still, I just can't find myself to love it as much as most people seem to love them. All right, so the next one is my Kaweco Sport. So this is the iridescent pearl, and it is made of, fully plastic. It's very lightweight, and it's super, super small and cute in the hands, but, big enough to kind of write with without it feeling like it's a tiny pocket pen. Of course, I pose them so it's just a tad bit longer. This one has a medium nib. This is a Bach, I believe. So Bach, and it's like a number 4 Bach nib. They're super tiny, but they handle inks very well from my experience. That's why I still have 2 Kawecos. They have handled the shimmers really well, and I just kind of like to use them for that purpose. This one is the Iguana Blue. This is the Kaweco All Sport, or AL Sport, which is aluminum body. The Iguana Blue is a little bit more green than Tourmaline, which I love so much. I love when a teal turquoise kind of leans a bit more green. Again, a medium nib. There's the Bach medium. Writes so smooth and nicely. These Kawecos are like buttery smooth. You can't even hear, no feedback, but it is a nice writing experience. And you guys know me, I love feedback, so for Kawecos to not have any feedback is kind of rare for me. But I do really like the writing experience there. And I have sold most of my Twsbis already. This is the only Twsbi I have left, which is the Smoke Rose Gold. This one has a 1.1 stub. And the Twsbi 1.1 stubs are not bad. They're a little bit thicker than Lamy's 1.1 stub. And I don't really enjoy writing with stubs because I feel like they are a little bit too, sometimes they're a little too broad for me. I like it to be a little bit sharper, so I do enjoy the cursive smooth italics. So this is again, the Twsbi Eco Smoke Rose Gold. This middle one here is a very interesting pen. This is a gift from my friend Shock, Dr. Shock MD. If you watch him on YouTube, we met recently the past 2 weeks. He came up to Minnesota. We hung out for a little bit, talked about pens, and he makes his own pens. This is made using a resin machine, 3D printer, and all this is just resin with nice guilloche effect here. He already had this one ready, kind of like to give me one. So, and he also grinds his nibs. He experiments with grinding nibs. So this one is, let me see, yeah, I think that's a double broad. So it's a double broad Yovo, and he has grounded it to a Architect on the reverse side and like an extra fine on the regular side. So it's very interesting and very lovely. I don't typically enjoy Architects, but this one was thin enough that it felt really nice to write with. So I thank you, Shock, for giving this pen to me. I really, appreciate that. And so it's going to be a fun pen to write with. Next up are my 4 Pilot pens. I jumped right into the Pilot Gold nibs because they are highly revered, and rightfully so. The nibs are amazing. So the very first Pilot pen that I ever got was the Pilot Custom 823. Lo and behold, it is as good as they say it is, but it's not for everyone. So the Pilot Custom 823, this is the amber. I did have the black one as well, but I gave that away as a gift. So this nib was originally a medium, and I swapped it with my friend Tasha. She loves medium, I love fine, so it was a perfect match. So we swapped it out. The nibs are, you can remove the nib and the feed unit very easily on these 823s. So if you ever want to swap with a friend, that's very, very doable. You just got to make sure that you put it back in very nicely, because it, as a vacuum filler, this pen requires everything to be airtight. Really love this pen. It is very expensive now, so if you don't have one, it's still quite good for its price. The next pen is my Pilot Vanishing Point, and this is the Taiwan 30th anniversary. And this color is like a forest green. It's just so gorgeous, and it's also matte finished. It can scratch, so I've been very careful with it not to scratch it. And this one comes with a medium nib. I believe it was all just medium, or maybe it could have been fine. But I bought this from Muse Pen in Hong Kong. They're just amazing to work with. And so I was so fortunate to be able to buy it from them directly. I was able to get this for like about $280 at the time, and this one was like $320 in the US, which is amazing price at the considering now the Vanishing Points are like $540 for special editions. It's just, I think, really ridiculous. Yeah, green is my favorite color, so I will never get rid of this pen, never ever. All right, the next one is the Pilot Vanishing Point Kanreki Red. This is the 60th anniversary for Pilot, and it is lacquered, and the red is actually really sparkly. It's super, super subtle sparkle, but it's everywhere, so it's definitely not subdued or by any means. And so it's got black trims here. The black parts are matte, which is so nice. Such a nice tactile feel. And then the body itself is lacquered. The top and knob here is also matte finished. The nib is black coated, which to match the whole aesthetic of this pen. And it's so, so lovely. It is a fine nib, and I find that my Vanishing Point, this one, does not dry out. And so that means that a good vanishing point shouldn't dry out at all, which is very nice, but my green one does dry out. So I think there's some issue inside the cap, maybe dried out ink that I need to clean out. But if my red vanishing point does not dry out, it means that the green one shouldn't either. So there's just something I need to fix with it. And then the last pilot in my collection is the Pilot Custom 743. This is the US exclusive verdigris, and I chose a Falcon nib, or an FA nib, because I hear so many good things about the Falcon nib, and it really is so nice, lovely, and amazing. There's not much flex to it. I mean, like, not much variation in line width, but there's enough to be nice for everyday writing. I really do appreciate that about the Falcon FA nib. Such a fun nib to write with. All right, so let's take a look at the second row. So the second row of pens are all my Leonardos. These are the Leonardo Momento Zeros and the Magico. And then there are 2 more spots for 2 extra pens that I do not have a collection of, but just kind of like one-offs. So this is my Leonardo Momento Zero Rangoli. This is the primary manipulation for resin by Jonathan Brooks. It is silver trim, and it's got a medium nib, I believe. Yes, it's a medium, but this medium writes like a fine cursive italic, and I love it. I just love PM4 so much because it's so bright and colorful. And at the time when the Supernova PM5 came out, I missed out on that, but I'm okay with that because I don't like the Supernova model as much. The Momento Zero model is perfect for me, and I feel like I got a winner in terms of the resin, you know, how they're poured out. I really wanted a beautiful gradient from red, orange, yellow, all the way to purple, but I mostly got this like fiery, bright golden, yellowish orange, and then completely contrasted by this beautiful wave of purple and pink. So it's a very special, beautiful pen. Oh, and this is a Pen Boutique exclusive Rangoli that I believe I bought this 2 years ago, so it is an exclusive with them. The next 3 Leonardos here are exclusives with Endless Pens in their Hatch program. This one is the Fioritura Viola. This one doesn't have too many like purple hues. It's mainly like kind of like 2 tones of purple. You can see this bright chatoyant purple, and then this more simpler purple there, and then black. So it's quite simple in terms of coloring. Some of these resins do have a very transparent section like this, and the more transparent it is, the pinker it is. So I don't have too many of that, which is fine because I don't like too many transparent parts in my pens. But yeah, this one is the Fioritura Viola by Wendy from Nibs and Flourish with rose gold trim, which I think is perfect for this pen. I have a fine flex, or an elastic fine. Love Leonardo's elastic fines. They are very juicy. They do kind of write like mediums. Some of them could write like true fines, but I have found most of them are kind of like in between, which I do like. The next one here is called Persephone. This is by Micah from Micah Finds on Instagram. This is her creation, which I really love. It's got gold trims. Lots and lots of shades of pink in there, from dark ones to light and bright ones. And even a hint of purple in the chatoyants there. That's so pretty. And this nib is also also an elastic fine. I just tend to gravitate towards that one a lot. Oh, and all Momento Zero Leonardos are cartridge converter fillers. So you can remove the body to see the converter. And Leonardo's all come with their own branded cartridge converters, which is so nice. This one is also by Wendy from Nibs and Flourishes. This is her Aster Bouquet. Let me just do a close-up there. You can see how gorgeous that design is. It's got lovely periwinkle with turquoise shimmer and chatoyance. This is totally my kind of pen. If you know the colors I love, look at that. The end piece here is so lovely. So it doesn't make me think of flowers per se when you look closely, but from afar it does look like a beautiful floral pen. And the cap band here does have floral accents, which is so nice. I didn't think that Leonardo would do something like this. And so the fact that they did do that is really interesting and lovely. And then this one, I chose a fine nib. This fine nib is really wet and juicy and thick and broad. That's the one thing I don't like about Yovo nibs. Sometimes they're just so inconsistent, but that's also fine. Sometimes people like that. Like, it's okay that not every single fine is going to be exactly the same. Some people don't mind that. For me, it does bother me a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's not a big issue. So this one is one of my favorite ones. It's not an exclusive, but this is I believe this is the Blue Aloha. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the lighter blue parts here is just so gorgeous. It really does look like it's see-through. Or not see-through, like translucent. And so like light could shine through it, which is so pretty. And it makes it, the illusion of it being water is even more realistic. And the way it just glows in the light too, you can see that is so pretty. Yeah, it's cracked ice. There are white parts kind of chatoyant coming through. And about the gold version, because like the gold to me, it feels like the sun hitting the water, and you kind of need sun when you have water. There is a silver trim version, which I feel like is more cohesive to a blue water themed pen, but I like the gold. I mean, I would choose gold over silver any day anyways. And then it has a medium nib, which writes like a cursive smooth italic fine. Again, all these nibs are not consistent, and so when you get one that is very unusual but you like it, then it's nice. That's when you realize, okay, I don't mind if it's not consistent. This next one is the Momento Magico. This is an exclusive by Goldspot, and Tom Otto from Goldspot graciously gifted this to me to review, and I think it's really, really perfect. I don't know. I mean, just thinking back, I feel like it's the perfect gift for me because my birthday is in December, and I forgot to say, today's my birthday. I'm releasing this video on Tuesday, my birthday, December 23rd. So this pen just really makes me feel really warm on the cold winter days because this is called Neve d'Inverno, which is first snow. And I love snow so much. I know a lot of people don't, but I love snow because it's so pretty, beautiful, and it makes me think of cozy days when I get to just stay inside and be warm. Or I can also be reminded of the days where I get to play in the snow as a younger person. And again, thank you, Tom from Goldspot, for sending me this pen. It is going to stay with me forever because it's so special. So many beautiful meanings to this pen. I did get this in a fine, but it writes like a medium. I will continue to say that, how each pen feels to me, because they're not consistent, which is fine. It's just so funny. Yeah, so this pen is just so snowy. sparkly, chatoyant. All right, the next one is Lions Rock from Muse Pen. This is their exclusive, and the moment I saw this, I was like, it's got all kinds of beautiful green shades, and I had to have it. This part is so beautiful, and then it's got Muse's design on there, which is also gorgeous. And the Momento Magicos are different. They're internal piston fillers, so you do have to fill it up with an ink bottle. This one has the Lions Rock Mountain on the nib, and I got this in a medium, which is a true medium. It's very thick. It's so beautiful. I barely use it because I don't like the Momento Magicos as much, even though they are quite comfortable, much more comfortable at times than the Momento Zeros. I don't like internal piston fillers as much as cartridge converters because they're a bit harder to clean out. I like cartridge converters a lot because I can always change the ink, and super easy to clean. This one is also a Gold Spot exclusive, just like the Neve d'Inverno right there. This one is called Foresta Umbra. I will say that this is one of my favorite exclusives ever, and Gold Spot nailed it with this one. This is a diamond cast resin by Mackenzie. I think it's Mackenzie Works. Mackenzie Penworks. But yeah, the diamond cast resin in here is just absolutely gorgeous. I feel like I ink this pen up almost like 2-3 times a year with different inks because I love green inks. The nib, or the trims here are ruthenium, so it is black to kind of, you know, match the aesthetic of this dark and moody forest pen. This Forest Umbra is the shadow of the, or shadows of the forest, I believe. And the nib here is a medium. No, it's a fine. I did buy a fine originally, and I wanted an elastic fine, so I bought a separate elastic fine black nib. But I ended up liking this fine even more. So this fine writes like a true fine. I love it. And then here is another Endless exclusive. This is Hades, kind of to match Persephone. I do like the two colors. Like they don't really make me think of Hades. Like this color doesn't really make me think of Hades. I think of like blue fire when I think of Hades. But yeah, but I do like the color that they chose here. It's a very lovely, like muted yellowy brown. So it's a bit understated in terms of swirl and colors, but I really love it. This one I have an elastic extra fine, so it's very thin. All right, so that's it for the Leonardos on this tray. We're moving next to my one and only Esterbrook SD Accutron. This is the green, Gold Rush green, I believe. It's very pretty. But yeah, I really love this pen. Esterbrook's are really good for not drying out your inks, and I have this in a medium nib, which to me writes like a very thin medium, and I love that. And it's got a nice tactile feedback. It's not terribly smooth, so that's exactly how I love my nibs. Cartridge converter, very well built. I love this pen. Yeah, and it's pretty light, so it's very comfortable to write with. So I will say that the Esterbrook SDs are one of the most comfortable pens to write with. So kudos to Esterbrook, making a very well-balanced, light pen to write with for very long sessions. And again, green is my favorite color, so this is probably the only Esterbrook you'll see me have. The next one is a Waterman Corinne. This is the amber colorway, and it's shaped like a submarine. Very, very cool design. It is a snap cap, and then the nib is inlaid, which is so cool. It feels really big. This is a fine nib, which writes, I would say, like a thick fine. The nib right there has the W for Waterman, which is really cool. Yep, that's the Waterman symbol. It writes really smooth with some feedback. So I really, really enjoy this pen. It does feel like an office pen, which is nice. Luxurious office pen. So sometimes that's kind of the vibe I like to go for, and this pen fits the bill so well for that. All right, on to the third tray. So this third tray houses all my Sailor fountain pens. These are all my Sailor Pro Gears, along with 3 other one-offs in my collection. But before we can even talk about the Sailor Pro Gears, we should talk about the Pro Gear Slims that I have left in my collection. So, you know, Sailors, I started off with Sailor Pro Gear Slims and realized that they're too small for my personal taste. And I also prefer the 21 karat Sailor nibs. So the only Sailor pens that I have left are all 21 karat nibs, except for one, which is 18 karat, but I'll talk about that later. So these are my 4 Sound of Rain series Pro Gear Slim. They're all smaller size pens, but the Pro Gears from the Sailor line are flat tops. You can see there. Yeah, and they're not cigar shaped or conical at the ends. And I think that the Sailor Pro Gears being a flat top allows them to make these really cute finials. And I'm a sucker for these clear finials that are sparkly. Every single one of these are sparkly and clear. And I feel like the colorway that they chose for this Sound of Rain series is just superb. This is the Summer Rain. It's got this really moody, I would say, dusty teal, if there's such a thing as dusty teal. They're all matte finished, so the body isn't lacquered at all, and it's done so well that it doesn't feel cheap. The nibs are so tiny, but they are 21 karat gold, and so I feel like they are smoother and softer than the 14 carats, and they do feel that way, and they write much better, in my opinion. Here is Winter Rain. It's a lovely light lavendery pink pen with white clear finials. Yeah, it's perfect for winter. And then this one is Autumn Drizzle or Autumn Rain. It's more of a, I would say, dusty purple. Moody as well. An unusual color for fall, but it definitely is, you don't see much purple anywhere except for spring. So I think it's fine and really nice that there is a purple pen for autumn. And then here is Spring Rain, which is my very favorite one. Obviously because it's this very beautiful seafoamy aqua green. I will say that it's not entirely green, but not entirely blue either. It's probably more blue, but the fact that it's very translucent, the green kind of pops out that way. But you can see with natural lighting, it's quite a unique looking resin. And then the finials are purple, which is just so pretty next to this greenish blue, this aqua green here. All right, so that's the Sound of Rain series. I will never get rid of these ones. If I ever need to sell off pens to purchase another one, these will stay with me. Okay, so let's talk about the beautiful Sailor's Pro Gears that I have. Now, these are not entirely the super, super rare limited pens by any means. Some of them are, but some have resurfaced again, so it's not as rare. This one is the Kisan from Sailor's Tea Time Around the World. This is the Moroccan Mint Tea series. It had a medium 21 karat nib before on it, and now it is a cursive smooth italic medium fine. It is beautiful. It is perfect. I love writing with this one so much. Probably my favorite nib of all my Sailor nibs. No, obviously because it's been grounded, and Gina is the one that grounded this one. It is beautiful. This one is the Yoseka's Home, and it's the champagne gold one, so it is not the original design. And I love that it's not their original design, because I prefer the champagne gold to their Sailor's bright yellow gold. This one had a medium nib in it, and it has been grounded to a journaler nib. I believe I would say like medium journaler, but it doesn't write like a Western medium. I also really love this journaler nib. It's so nice. Gina was able to keep the feedback on both of these pens, and so it's like retains the Sailor quality that I love. This one is also grounded to a journaler by Gina. This was originally a broad, and Gina's journaler is usually around a medium, and so I just told Gina that I would like around a Japanese medium journaler, and it's really nice. So lovely. This is the Bunga Box Sanctuary Blue. It has a turtle finial right there made of rodden. This side is just white. And so I think this pen is so special to me. It's very different from what I love to collect. As you can see, it is transparent. It's got the really large sparkly flecks. I prefer the very subtle sparkles, which all of these have. This one has the large sparkles, which I don't really care for, but this pen has a lot of beautiful meaning. It represents the turtles in their sanctuary, and we have to protect turtles from going extinct. I mean, they're not, entirely going extinct, but they do deserve to be preserved and live in their habitat. And so this is called the Blue Sanctuary for that reason. It's got Bunga Box's ink bottle there on the nib, 21 karat gold nib. Again, this is also champagne gold. I think it goes so lovely against this darker green and blue. So yes, adore this pen so much. The next one is Yoseka's Refresh pen. This is, I believe, their second one. Yoseka's Origin green one. I don't really like that one because it's very similar to this one, and I prefer these kinds of pen sailors, a little bit more milky, translucent pens where you can kind of see through but not all the way. And then it's got this beautiful finials. Like, again, I am a sucker for their clear, transparent, colored finials. This one is silver trimmed. It has a medium fine, which is my favorite nib size for sailors. So yeah, I got this for such a great deal. They are like $450 to $500 with Yoseka, because Yoseka has to make profit, and so they upcharge their sailors a lot. They're exclusive ones, but Sailor is upcharged a lot to begin with. So, but I got this for like $300, which I was so happy with that deal. Like, I believe sailors to me are worth $300, around there. Most of them are like $400 to $450. I think the price is ridiculous. I would not at this time buy any sailors for $450. But again, everyone's financial situations are different, and to some people $450 is probably worth it for them. But for me, I try to keep my sailors at a decent price. This one is the newer model of the Hachimanjia's Jellyfish Aquarium pen. The original one did not have finials, clear, like aqua blue finials. And the body is also a little bit greener. This one is more translucent, and it's a little bit more blue, kind of like the sky, or an effervescent kind of watery light blue. So I do think that it matches the feel of jellyfish in the ocean, or the aquarium better. And the finials are just so cute. I fell for the finials. And in some lighting, this pen is actually so gorgeous. I do prefer the greener body of the original, but this one also does not look bad at all. And it also has these subtle sparkles. I don't know if you can see it at all in this camera lighting, but the sparkles are there. I think the fact that it's very translucent hides the sparkles a bit. So that's why the original is, I think, a little bit superior to this one, but the finials are kind of what I've always wanted. So I traded this pen with my friend Lisa, so she got the original that I have, and now I have the new jellyfish aquarium. And then this next one is the Ginza Snow Gray. It's quite translucent when you think about it. And then they also reran and made a new version of this, which they didn't change anything at all, really. I don't know if it's more translucent, but this one's already pretty translucent. And this one is such a gorgeous muted blue-gray. So it's very beautiful, moody. It has some of the most prettiest dusty blue inks to match with this pen out there. So I really love it. And the nib has the Ginza Onsen oil lamps. Really iconic of that Ginza's hot springs. So this pen is very beautiful and special in that way. I don't remember if I showed this one, but this one is also medium fine, and it's got the jellyfish on the nib. This one is 18 karat. So the new Hachimanjiya sailors are all 18 karat, which I don't know exactly the reason why they went with that route. It's probably cheaper because gold is very expensive now. And so 18 karat is probably cheaper to make than 21 karat. I don't really see much of a difference between the 21 karat and the 18 karat. The 21 karat is a little softer, slightly softer, but they write about the same. They're very feedbacky, especially because they're medium fines. And so when I wrote with this one before Lisa and I swapped it, I was like, I love the feedback. I love the writing experience. So the 18 karat didn't really bother me by any means, so it still felt like it wrote the same. This one is probably my favorite, which is so weird to say because purple isn't usually my first, favorite color, but it's very closely, close next favorite to teals and greens. This one is the Raimon Tree's Amethyst, and Raimon Tree is like, the imagery of that is like really thin coating of ice on tree branches, and in the morning, especially when the sunlight is kind of more like a pinkish purple and it hits the ice on the trees and you get this field of purple. That's what this pen represents, and it's just such a beautiful purple tone. Hachimanjiya just came out with the newer model of this, which has bright purple clear finials, but the body is not as nice as this one, so I prefer this one. I did spend $400 on this one because it's very hard to find at the time, and I am not unhappy at all with that choice. This is one of my favorite sailors. It does have the original medium 21 karat nib in there with the snowflakes. Again, winter themed pens are kind of just very near and dear to me, and this one is no exception. I prefer to have the medium in here because I know that I'm going to use light purple inks in here And those inks are notoriously dry, so I wanted to allow it to stay a medium nib so that it can handle those dry shimmers or dry purple inks. And then this one is everyone's favorite probably, but this is the Hachimonjia's Kubo Zakura, which is spring sakura cherry blossom trees. Very, very beautiful, milky, pinkish white body here with a gorgeous pink clear finial. The trims are rose gold. Both of these are rose gold, which is why I love it. And the nib here has a cherry blossom flower on there. Also a medium nib because dusty pinks do tend to be a little dry, and so I kept it that way. So that is my Sailor collection. That is all my Sailor collection. I have 12 of them. This next one is my Schon design pen. It's got a gradient between blue and green, which is the two colors I love. And it's got a Yovo fine in here. So Ian Schon made this exclusive. Well, it was kind of one of their exclusives for the San Francisco Pen Show last year. And I got this last year, and I absolutely love it so much. It writes really nicely. The fine, to me, writes like a true fine. This one is a gift from Ferris Wheel Press. They gave it to me to review for you guys. I got to choose this color. I mean, it was the only one, one of the few that were left, but I love this color so much. It's a bit of a muted, moody green, which I really love. And it has this really nice cap band here. It does roll. So it's not the most like easiest to just stay there without moving and rolling. So you do want to keep this on a more fabric surface so that it doesn't roll away. This is the Jewel pen. It's their most expensive higher end steel nib pen, but a very good price actually. About 180 is the retail, and you can get this for cheaper with discounts. So dual tone steel nib, lots and lots of engraving. It's a very sophisticated looking paintbrushy like pen. The weight, it's a little bit weighty, so I can't write with it for too long, but I really like this pen. It's a nice addition in my collection. So again, thank you Ferris Wheel Press for sending this to me as being part of my collection. And then this one is by Solarium, I believe. Yeah, Solarium pens. I'll put it, the name on the screen, but I bought this as a ballpoint at the San Francisco Pen Show last year, and to me it looks like sands in the desert. It's so pretty. It's highly lacquered, so it feels like it's glass marble, but I believe it's just resin. And so you twist it over this way, and then you get a ballpoint pen, which is really nice because you do need ballpoint pens from time to time. Yeah, so that one is part of my collection, I will say, even though it's not entirely a fountain pen. I talk way too much. These videos just go for so long. Okay, before we get to this gorgeous box with all of my high-end pens, except for this one, it's not that expensive, we're going to talk about my platinum pens, which is in this cute little bag or pouch. This pouch is made by Kiela from KR Plans. I just love it so much. It's just super cute and plushy. So I have my 5 platinum pens in here. I actually have 2 more platinum pens, but I'm trying to sell those. One of them is pending. The other one I still have to sell, so hit me up if you are interested in a platinum pen. It's actually a soft, fine nib, so it's a little bit elastic, and it has some nice variation to the lines. But yes, I will put that up for sale soon. But these are the 5 platinum pens that are staying with me. I do have one more platinum pen that I want to add to my collection, which is the Ayame purplish iris colored platinum. So these are the 5 platinums, and my favorite platinum is obviously this one, First Snow. It is, I believe, my very first platinum before I got the rest of these. I've always wanted this pen for so long. My first platinum was the Laurel Green, which is, a regular offering from Platinum. But it was just much too dark for my taste. And when I saw this pen, it's an exclusive with Hachimonjiya, and it has Orion on the nib. It is rose gold, super light pink. I just told myself I had to have that pen. I put it in my wish list journal, and eventually I got it for a very good price as well. And this was probably during the second or third run of First Snow, and so I got it during that batch, and I was very, very happy with it. Definitely one of my favorite writing nib experience. It's got the original medium platinum nib size, and platinum mediums are, I think, one of the most perfect writing line widths of all the Japanese nibs. Sailor medium fine is still probably my favorite, but platinum mediums are a very, very close second. But yeah, this pen is very, very translucent. As you can see right through to the nib, but it's not like a demonstrator by any means. So I really, really love this pen, and I put lots of dusty pink inks in here, and it just fills me with joy. Sometimes I will pair it with a brown too, because I think browns do look nice from this pen. Then the next pen that I got will have to be this one. This was the Chai Latte. I got this last year, around the beginning of last year, and it's still one of the most elegant looking pens in my collection. Very feminine looking, very light. This Chai Latte brown here is like a very, very light tan. The cap has these crystals. They're not real diamonds or anything, but there's crystals up here with, I believe this one has 3 of the hearts. So the nibs come with these heart-shaped breather holes, and so that gold piece is actually inside of the cap here. I really love platinum nibs. They are such a beautiful shape, really, really beautifully done. You can see like the design there is kind of like the shape of their mountain, Mount Fuji. And so the Platinum Century 3776 is named after Mount Fuji's height, which is 3,776 I think meter or feet. Very, very, very tall. But yeah, so this is the Chai Latte, and it's all matte finished. So this pen does feel very different in hand. The grip section is actually not matte. It is lacquered so that ink does not stain it. Ink doesn't really stain the body either if you clean it right away. And then the next pen that I bought was this, or the next platinum is this one, which is Akizakura, or Fall Cherry Blossom, Cosmos. And it's got this it is definitely a more peachy pink color compared to First Snow. And the cap here is like a seafoam green, and it's quite see-through. Yeah, you can see it right there. So I would still consider this translucent, but in natural lighting, you can definitely see right through. And there are sparkles on the body. You can see there. But the cap is not sparkly. I wish it was sparkly, but like it's fine. This combination is actually pretty, really pretty. So very happy with that. This one is actually rose gold as well, and it has a medium nib with a butterfly on the nib. This medium nib is a little thinner than these two medium nibs, which I find to be strange. Yeah, that I didn't like because I wanted platinum medium to be a medium so that I can put certain inks in it. But it is a little thinner, which I'll just have to accept and get used to. This one is the Bluebird, which I got earlier this year. And I think that the blue here looks like a robin's egg blue, I think. Maybe not exactly, but really, really beautiful pen. It's got rose gold with this blue, and you don't typically see rose gold with blue, so that's why it's so nice and unique for me. I also got this in a medium nib. This medium nib is thicker, like a true thick platinum medium nib. Slightly thicker than I want it to be. These two are the thickest medium nibs of my mediums. So sometimes platinum mediums can be a little bit on the thick and juicy side. Other times they're the perfect medium with perfect consistency of flow. This one is my most perfect medium with the right flow. And then this one is the cider from Kobayashi, I believe. And this one was kind of an impulse buy. But it fits the collection so well. It's a very, very light, light dusty blue and quite transparent as well, but it's a translucency and it's very shimmery, very sparkly. Yeah, super, super sparkly. I do love my sparkly platinum, so I am not unhappy with this one. And the reason I say that is because it is silver trim, and I typically don't get silver trims, but this blue was just so nice. I really, really wanted it. And oh no, this is Kobe, not Kobayashi. So it has the Kobe symbol there on the nib. So this is Nagasawa Kobe, and again, this one was a very, very good price. These special platinums tend to go for like $400, especially now with tariffs. So I was able to get this for a lot less than that, which is exactly how I want to pay for my platinums, because in Japan, these platinum pens retail for between, like a year or two ago, they retailed for about $200, and we bought them for like $300 to $400. Now you can probably, now the retail for these is between $220 and $250, and so typically we are buying these for at least $350 to $400 now. So it's just getting very hard to collect platinum, pens overseas now. So I'm very happy with this collection. The only one I want to add now is Ayame, which is a very beautiful iris purple pen, which I think will fit into this collection very well. All right, so this last one houses my very expensive Italian pens and expensive Pelikan pens. All right, so we'll get this one out of the way first, because I guess I should have put this with my Pilot pen, but this is a platinum pen, and this is the only platinum Kanazawa Makie pen that I have and love so much. It's got this beautiful autumn leaves, and I love it so much. It's got an 18 karat medium nib in it, and I love how bouncy this pen writes. It's really nice. All right, so we're gonna start on this side here. This is my Visconti Unicorn Galaxy. This is the Kaleido model. In person, this pen is, it's more like, I would say it's a true turquoise. It's quite green in natural light, and when it's not in natural light, it's a little bit more blue. It's got the Visconti's hook lock safe mechanism. I think that's the name of it. Hook safe lock, and it's got their 14 karat nib, and this is a fine. I originally had a broad, because the broad was the only one that was available for sale at Atlas. This pen retailed for like $700, and I got it half off at Atlas. And so broad was the only one left, and I just had to deal with it. I don't write with broads. But then my friend Charisse and I, we talked about it. She was the only one that I know who loves this pen, has one, and she has a fine nib. She loves broad. So we swapped pens. This is not my original pen. This is her pen, and now it is mine. And it's so special because we both were able to swap it, and we love how we were able to do that. And the body of the resin is slightly different for each one, but it's, you know, similar enough that we didn't mind the swap. So I love it so much. All right, and then the next one is the Visconti Homo sapiens Bronze Age. This is the original 23 karat palladium nib. I've always wanted that as my grail for Visconti. I didn't want the new 18 karat one. So I was able to find this, and it's loved, pre-used, very, very worn down. As you can see, the hook lock grip section here has been worn down a lot. So it doesn't keep my ink from drying out at all. It dries out pretty fast. But that's one of the, you know, one of the risks and one of the sacrifices I have to make for getting one of the older models. I do love the 23 karat palladium nib. It writes very smoothly. It has been grounded from a medium to a fine cursive italic, a cursive smooth italic by CY, and it's perfect. So perfect. It's a little bit broad for my taste at this time because I have, you know, enjoyed much thinner writing as I continue to write, but I still really like the fine tipping that CY made for this one. So yeah, it's again the Visconti Homo sapiens Bronze Age is made of lava, so this pen just feels so nice in the hand. You can see on the grip section here that it's got some coloration here. That's because this material is porous, and so it will absorb any kind of moisture, and a lot of times there's going to be ink at the grip section, and so when you write with it you might get ink on your hand. I always you know, like I don't always have a towel by hand, but if I need to wash it off, you just wipe it with a wet towel and then a dry towel to, you know, dry it off. It's not a problem. It's just one of the perks of having a Homo sapiens is the cleaning that you're gonna have to do and to maintain it. I haven't had too much issues with that though. This one is my second Visconti Grail, and I was able to get it quite fast, and I was very happy. But I got this 2 years ago from Atlas Stationer's experience sale. So this one is a used pen. It was bought and then returned because the capping was a little tight. I do see why it's a bit tight. That might just be some of their models are like that, or some of their Visconti Homo sapiens came out that way and didn't come out very smoothly, but I don't mind that. This pen has not dried out on me, so I feel like the capping is still very, very good. This is the Crystal Dreams. It does have a double reservoir, so I do need to open the end here. The original Homo sapiens does not have a double reservoir, so I believe you don't have to open the blind cap at the end here, but it might just be good to do it anyways. But for this one for sure, I have to open the blind cap at the end here in order for the ink to flow all the way through. This one has the 18 karat rose gold trimmed nib. It is a fine nib. This is a fine nib, and I really, really love the Visconti's fine nib. It writes really nicely. It doesn't write as beautifully unique as other in-house nibs write, but it writes nicely. So I have told some friends that if I were to compare Aurora and Pelikan and Visconti, I think Aurora and Pelikan nibs write more uniquely and better than Visconti, but that doesn't mean Visconti is bad at all. I truly love Visconti's writing experience. I did get good Visconti nibs, so based on that, I love it and I like writing with it. And they're nice. This next one is my Kilk Celestial Luna. This is the exclusive from Endless Pens. It's made the trims here are sterling silver. This part's sterling silver as well. The rest of the body is resin. And this one has a fine nib in it. I have multiple Kilk nibs, and this is the only Kilk pen I have, so I can always swap them out whenever I feel like a different nib size. So this Kilk is super, super special to me. Luna is moon. I have 4 phases of the moon as a tattoo on my arm, representing my group of 4 college friends that we always hang out even after college has ended. Each one of the phases of the moon represents each one of us, and so, you know, this pen is also very special in that regards. The next one is, we'll talk about this one first because this is my very first Pelikan. So this is the Pelikan Black Tortoise Shell. I've always thought this one looked extremely beautiful and elegant. The stripes here are chatoyant and gorgeous. They do sometimes look more beautiful in camera than they do in person, but it just depends on how the light hits it for it to look gorgeous in person. It's quite dull in person if you don't have the right lighting, because it's kind of almost like the material is like an illusion, and a play on, play with the light, just like this pen. The lighting really, really makes a big difference. So in that sense, I would say the engineering is really unique and really well done. So for if the right lighting hits it and it's just gorgeously perfect, yeah, it's really well done. This pen is very, very light. It's an M600 Pelikan, so the nib is a bit smaller, but it is 14 karat. I got this in an extra fine, and it, to me, has the perfect flow. It's not too wet, not too dry. It's just perfect. It can be a little dry with some dry inks, but I know that a lot of Pelikan extra fines are still wet by people's standards, but this one, to me, isn't that wet. And it's probably my favorite Pelikan. All right. So, for those of you that this is your favorite, well, I'm sorry. It's probably my second favorite. This is the Glauco Kanban, which is the art collection from 2 years ago. This year's is Rudy Rother. It's quite pretty as well, so it's going to go in my wish list, but I just cannot afford that right now, or at least justify getting that. This one is Glauco Kanban. It's beautiful, beautiful barrel work here, and I have this in a fine nib. It's very juicy and broad for a fine, so I don't know what I want to do with this nib. If I want to turn it into a journaler or cursive smooth italic and grind it down just a little bit. But yeah, this is very, very beautiful, very lovely. And then the M1000, this is just the all black. I got this with the intention of putting, having custom Rodden work on this pen someday. That day has not come yet. It does have an extra fine. This is 18 karat. It's super, super soft nib. I might have this nib worked by Shock. He is able to create very, very beautiful, flexible nibs, and I have written with his reinforced, nibs where you can do gorgeous calligraphy with them, and I just feel like this pen deserves that kind of a special grind. I am able to create some flourishes and line variation with the original nib, but it's not recommended to use it that way because the nibs are not as responsive, and so you could splay the nibs really, really easily if you push too hard to create line variations with these M1000 nibs. So I think that because I do like to use it as a flourishing type of pen and write big, that it does need a revamp on the nib. So I will talk to Shock, and maybe someday this will become my gorgeous, fun calligraphy pen. And then the M800, this one I just got this year from my friend Manny for a very lovely price. And it was on my wish list. It wasn't high on the wish list, but he was selling it. And, you know, what better way to have a friend buy your pen or have your pen? So I always feel like it's so nice to sell your pens to a friend, because then you know that it's in good hands and you can still talk to them knowing that your pen is still somewhere nearby. So this is the brown black Pelikan M800 with gold trims, and it has an extra fine nib, and I love writing with this extra fine. It's perfect for everyday writing. Very, very nice, lovely size as well. All right, the last layer underneath this are my other expensive Italian luxurious pens. All right, so let's talk about it. Here is probably my most favorite pen ever in my collection. This is my Aurora Volterra. This is, yeah, I mean, we'll just look at it. And just appreciate this pen. It's got a beautiful, gorgeous, very seamless ink window there. It's rose gold trim. You can see that the nib going in there, so it's a little bit translucent, which is very, very lovely. I love translucency in pens, not transparent. And yeah, this is a fine original Aurora nib. And I say that because the Aurora nibs nowadays, they're original, but they're not amazing compared to the older ones. So this is an older 18 karat fine. It writes crisp lines. It has nice Aurora feedback. So the nib is not as smooth as what some people might prefer. It's a little bit more feedbacky, but that's perfect for me. It's a perfect lightweight pen, so I can write with it for a very long time. The next Aurora, and all of these are Aurora 88s, and they're from the Secret Voyages of Italy. So you're basically going from city to city in Italy, and they all share a little bit of a backstory to each city. This one is Ortigia. It's quite blue, not a lot of green in the turquoise here, but I don't mind that. It's still quite beautiful and lovely. It has a medium nib, which writes extremely smooth. I believe this one was probably before they changed over to the new nibs. So I still feel a nice tactile feedback from the nib, but it's such a smooth nib and it writes really lovely. There's Artesia. And then I got this one from Apple Boom. This was my birthday pen from my birthday pen video, if you haven't seen it. And it now houses a new, very well-functioning extra fine nib. I had the extra fine tuned a little bit by CY, mainly because, again, even though they gave me a better nib, it still is not the perfect Aurora nibs anymore. So I just had him fix the nib a little bit to where it touches the paper to how I like it. It was perfectly functioning before I had CY work on it, but it just was even better after he did. So didn't mean that I needed to pay more to get this work done. It was just I wanted it to be a certain kind of way. But this is Cremona. It is the city of, you know, musical instruments like violins, cellos, all the wooden instruments. And so very, very special city. And this last one is my newest birthday pen. It is green this year. You know, like the green and brown are so pretty. So this one is called Labyrinto. I still need to look up again what that city represents. So when I do a review video on this, hopefully I will have that researched before I, you know, go in depth about this pen. But this is, it's just so beautiful and gorgeous. Perfect pen for my birthday. Aurora 88, Labyrinto. This is silver trimmed. I wish this was ruthenium. It would have been nice if they had made this ruthenium so I would have one of each different trim. You know, Aurora, come on. Give us a ruthenium trim already. This one is a 18 karat fine. This fine writes like a medium. Yeah, it does not write like my original 18 karat fine, which is really disappointing, but it's super smooth. It writes perfect. So I can't really fault it. All right. Next up are the my really rare Leonardo Momento Zero Grandes. This is the mother of pearl, and this is the gold trim. I had rose gold mother of pearl, but I sold that one to a friend of mine, and she loves it. She's been looking for it ever since, and lo and behold, it has always been in my collection, and so she's so happy with it, and I'm happy that she has it. So it's I sold it to Olivia. Shout out, hello Olivia. Yeah, but this one is mine, and I love it so much. So Mother of Pearl is one of my favorite resins by Jonathan Brooks, and there's a reason why, because it's got the gorgeous greens in it with these purples. Love, love, love so much. This one has a 14 karat elastic fine. It writes so lovely. It does tend to have a little bit of skipping, but I think that really depends on the paper that I'm using. There was a little bit of a baby's bottom, but I did have it fixed already. So sometimes the paper isn't completely flat, or it's got some hand oils on there, and so this nib tends to skip during those little moments or situations. But yeah, either way, it writes beautifully. So, and it also looks beautiful. One of my favorite Leonardos, and that's why it's in this little treasure box. This one is, again, also another favorite of mine. This is the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. This is the Ivory Juma Dragon. It's got very subtle chatoyancy. And this is lacquered, or it's you know, finished with a smooth coating. These can be finished in matte as well, so that's why this one is a smooth finish. And I have stained it from inking it up and taking it with me on a flight to DC. So never ink up your pens, especially your Leonardos that are this color. Any light material that could stain, do not ink those up on your way as you're flying. I have inked up some pens on flights, and they've not had any issues in terms of staining. This is the only one that has stained, and I think it's because of the material, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, it'll be fine. The nib is a large number 8 14 karat extra fine. This extra fine writes really thin. I did have to kind of break it in a bit. And once it's broken in, the nib is a lot broader than it originally was, but it's still a very, very true extra fine. So I absolutely love this pen so much. It's such a lovely writer. The next one is the Silver Abalone or Rainbow Opal. This has rose gold trim, but the nib is a steel number 8 nib. It's super big. You can see how the light plays so well with this pen's material. I got this one from this year's San Francisco Pen Show, and it's such a smooth wet writer, so I pair it up with lots of dry inks, and it's just a lovely writing experience. The only thing I hate about these three is that they're all piston fillers, and so cleaning them out is a chore. But taking that aside, they are very, very beautiful. Perfect to write with. This one is my very first Leonardo. This is the Leonardo Momento Leonardo Momento Zero Paraiso Maldives. It's showing pretty blue on my screen here. I don't know if you guys are seeing any green in there, but in person, to my naked eye, it's very green. A very, very green type of teal turquoise. This is my summer at the beach pen. Or not the beach. Summer in paradise. It's just so gorgeous, so lovely. It does make me think of my time in Hawaii, just vacation, relaxing, water, everything. This one has an elastic fine. Again, I started off with elastic fines with Leonardo, and I just could not stop myself from going that route. This has been grounded from an elastic fine to a journaler by Gina, and it's so lovely. Yes, my very first Leonardo, and it's a teal, so it is very fitting to start my story with Leonardo. This one is Clarissa's Dragonheart that she made last year. It's so sparkly, completely up my alley. Gold trim as well. This one has a 14 karat extra fine, which writes like a Western fine to me, and I really like it. It's very, very white as well. I believe it comes with an ebonite feed. All the gold nibs do. So yes, this one goes in here because it's very special, it's very sparkly, very beautiful. All right, the very last pen I'm going to share with you guys. This is my prize from the DC Pen Show this year. This is a Tasha pen. It has a Sailor 21 karat nib in here. It's a fine nib, and it writes very smooth with lots of feedback, like, you know, good amount of feedback. The cap has a little bit of a spring to it. Yeah, which is really nice. This one is urushi with some makie. So you can see these are sparkly bits that they put in there. And they use urushi as glue to put all these little bits of gold onto the body of the pen. It's basically a gorgeous work of art, and you can see down here it's signed by the artist. It is the number 3 of 33, and yeah. Oh my god, this pen is just so nice. I seldomly take it out, but when I do, I love writing with it because it's a Sailor nib. I have no problems with Sailor nibs at all. So yeah, I won this at the DC Pen Show, and it is one of the highlights of this year. Yes. All right, well, that is all. I'm just gonna leave this gorgeous set of pens here on the screen as I finish this video off. Thank you so much for joining me in looking over my whole fountain pen collection this year. I've reduced it down quite a lot, and I'm very, very happy with the collection I have right now. It is just enough pens and just what I love. So I hope you guys enjoyed your time looking through my fountain pen collection with me. Let me know down in the comments how you feel your collection has been, how many years you've been collecting, what brands are your favorite. Obviously, Aurora, Leonardo, Sailor, and Platinums are my 4 top favorite brands. But yes, I'm really, really excited to hear what everyone has in their collection. So, leave it down in the comments. I love to read them all, and I respond to them as fast as I can. So again, thank you so, so much for joining me, and I hope you all have a wonderful, lovely holiday, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.